Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. Hope you all are doing well today. Um, Welcome. My name is Jackie, and I am forever faithful. This is a place where I share my spiritual journey. Um, I want to talk about energy vampires. I have several tales of energy vampires. I have mentioned this on a previous video a few times, but um, and how important it is to recognize when you have an energy vampire um, present in your life. And energy vampire is someone who drains you mentally, it can be physically and emotionally, and it can happen in different ways. Um, and from my experience, that most of the energy vampires I have encountered um, wasn't aware that there was a dark entity connected to them, attached to them, that would feed off of my energy. And there's different types of energy vampires. Um, and I have come across two particular ones in my life. Um, One of them is the the critic, the control freak is the title of this energy vampire. Basically, they give a lot of unsolicited advice, which causes which caused me to feel very irritable and frustrated. And when I would have conversations with these person, whether if it was in person or on the phone, it was it just ugh, it just rubbed my spirit the wrong way. I was just irritated and frustrated and sometimes even angry. But and somehow they always thought that they knew better than me. It didn't make any sense. How could you possibly know better? You can't know better than I know myself. That's insanity to actually think that you could give me advice about myself and you don't even know all the aspects of me, or that they were smarter, but in a sense, trying to control the way that I think, the way that I behave, the way that I reacted, my reaction towards them or life. Um, and of course, it took time for me to realize that's what was happening. And I had two of them, a male and a female, in my life. Um, at different stages of my life. But it was like, even though it's not like they were necessarily bad people, right? It was, I call it a personality defect. But because they would, if I needed something, they would be there, they would help, they would offer assistance. So it wasn't like they were like selfish people, but they were both definitely control freaks and critics. Um, about how I do things, about the way that I think, um, and about my own personal experiences. And so oftentimes they would try to tell me again about me, my life, my experiences. And, and it was challenging for them to control me because I'm not one to be controlled. My way of being, my way of thinking is completely different than most. So, and I'm too independent. And actually think for myself. I'm not a robot or so programmed by this society that I just take the bait. There's also been someone else. She was a female. She was a talker. She was the type of person that constantly talked. And if there was a gap in silence, she would find something to say. Like she just could not be quiet, um, or just allow silence to just be once a conversation had ended. And what I realized is that every time I talked to her, every time I was around her, that I felt more depleted of my own energy, my own life force. And when I was done with her, she was no longer in my presence. Um, I I was just feeling so tired and drained. And even though I may have had plans to do something, I didn't have the energy to do it. I just didn't have it. And I believe this particular person knew what she was doing. I really do. It's one of those things where a lot of these dark forces know more about us, about you, and about your energy, your frequency, more than you do. And so they will use that to their advantage. And someone who knows what they are doing and how to manipulate energy, whether it's theirs or yours, um, it's easy. It's easier for them to siphon off of you. So just pay attention. Just pay attention to the people around you and how you feel when you are around them. Do you feel tired when you had energy initially, before the conversation started, before you met up with them? Um, do you feel like there's some type of lack of clarity or some type of mental fog? Do you feel emotionally tapped out, or your spirit is just irritated by your last interaction with this person? Those are red flags. Pay attention to them. I even had a family member, because I don't deal with them like that anymore, who was the type of energy vampire who took no responsibility for her behavior, and with some narcissistic tendencies as well. It's like she could do whatever and say whatever, but if you did or said the same thing, then there's a problem. And then it's like you find yourself, I found myself in these verbal confrontations with her, like, but you've done the same thing. So, well, that was different, making excuses. Those type of people will constantly take from you as long as you allow them to. And I allowed it for far too long, far too long. So I'm just telling my story about dealing with energy vampires. And a lot of times you may not even realize until you're no longer dealing with them or distance yourself from them. Um, you'll notice the difference. You may actually have more energy. You may have clarity and not brain fog. You may feel more emotionally stable, and less irritated and frustrated. There are many ways that they can siphon your energy, and there are different types of energy vampires, but just be aware of how you feel when you are around certain people. And if you don't feel refreshed, energized, but depleted and frustrated and irritable, then you definitely need to distance yourself from these people. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share. Hope you guys have a great day. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye.